Computer Money Talk here with another video. And this is the first time you ever been on my channel. It's kind of like financial channel. I talk about ways to make money, save money, invest money, basically anything to do with money. And sometimes I give away money to my subscribers. But you gotta be a subscriber in order to receive anything from me. And today's gonna be more of a story. It's only more entertainment. How I feel getting my first paycheck. Man, I wish I would have saved my paycheck from Albertson. It was pretty cool when I first got my paycheck. And the journey starts off before I worked at Albertson. So basically, when you're a kid, you want to make money, but you just can't really make money. So in a later video, I did talk, in an earlier video, I did talk about how my parents used to pay me allowance. Whatever age I was, they would divide my age and pay me that much. So it was when I was 9, they started paying me. It was supposed to be like every week for doing my chore. They would pay me like $4.50. So I got $4.50. But I did not get it every week like I was supposed to get it. And then when I was 10, they raised it up to like $5 a week. So it was like divided by my age, and that's how much I got every week for doing my chores. But the problem with working to get your allowance, your parents only pay you when they feel like it. So most of the time, I didn't even get that allowance. And I would tell myself, I need to make some money. Maybe I can make money cutting grass. So I did talk about that. And I wouldn't do this in Florida. Florida is too freaking hot. It is like hell in Florida in the summertime. But Hawaii's not so bad in summer, believe it or not. It don't really get, from what I remember in Hawaii, it don't really get over 80 degrees too much. So I did cut grass when I was in Hawaii. I went to people's house and I cut grass. Of course, I had to share that payment with my brother. I made money that way. I did that for a little while. I was in the 7th grade. And my dad actually did pay me he was a carpet cleaner when we were living in Hawaii. So from the 7th to 8th grade, I used to help him. He's paid like $3 an hour. So I had some jobs before I had my first paycheck. I was also a paper boy for a little while. It was like the summer of my 8th grade year. I became like a paper boy. I'll be honest with you, that was the worst job ever. Because I don't take a guess how much you think I made being a paper boy. Just have that image in your head, the number. $25 a month I made being a paper boy. I mean, I worked once a week. It was like once every Thursday. And I didn't even get the holidays off. So, yeah, being a paper boy really sucked. And I think I did that like I think I started like in June. Yeah, it had to be in June I started. Maybe July at the latest. And I think I did it like into maybe April-ish. Because we left Hawaii like a couple months later. Yeah, we left Hawaii like around June. And I got paid in cash when I was a paper boy. Of course, my dad paid me in cash. I got paid in cash. Cutting grass. I didn't really cut grass that long. I only cut grass like in the 7th grade year. And after that, I just didn't do it anymore. And of course, My dad he didn't do carpet cleaning that much. Once he moved to like Florida, he didn't really do it. I don't know if he did it. I mean, he did some cleaning stuff, but that's about it. So I need to make some money. Again, sometimes my parents would pay me allowance, but it was like when they pay me when I feel like it, when they feel like I could say, not when I feel like it. I wish I got paid when I feel like it. So I'm like, you know what? I need to make my own money. So I try to get some jobs. I think I was filling out an application when I was like 15. And let me tell you, being 15 sucks because nobody will hire you when you're 15. Like most jobs, a minimum age, they will hire you. At least for me, it was like 16. So no job for me when I was 15. But then when I became 16, still it was hard for me to get a job for a while. And I remember I went to hours and I did ask if they were hiring. They're like, yeah, we're always looking. So I filled out an application when I went to hours, and I think that was a Monday. And a few days later, I was working. I started working on a Friday. Fun times. So it was pretty interesting having an actual job, working that Friday. Next week come around, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get paid now. I think it had something to do with where the payday fell. So I had to wait like another week. So I had to wait 2 weeks to actually get paid when I was working at Albertson. And when I got that paycheck, I was happy. But I'll be honest, it was probably only like $72. I think it might have been around $72. It was in the 70s, I remember that. Yeah, that's not a lot, but for a 16-year-old that never had a job before, yeah, I also had a job, but for this to be my first W-2 job, this was like my first paycheck. I mean, that was a lot. And it felt good having that money. And we went to Blockbuster that same day. I think I rented a video game, maybe. I don't know what I rented. I rented something. Because I remember we went to Blockbuster that same day. So it felt good getting paid and getting my first paycheck. It was good. What I didn't like about the paycheck, though, you gotta remember I was only 16. Cause I'm like, how much do I get paid? $5.90 an hour. Okay, that's good. That sounds good. Getting paid $5.90 an hour. Then when I got my paycheck, I realized there was like a lot of tax. There was like Social Security, federal income tax, and the other ones, the Medicare. Medicaid is one of them. I don't even pay attention to that one. They took it out. I mean, I remember I was 16, I was mad, like, they're taking my money. So it took me a while to get used to that. That when you get a paycheck, they do take money out. So like, okay. So honestly, I wasn't really making $5.90 an hour. I'm not sure how much I was really making. But they did give me a raise like every I think it was like every 3 months. It seemed like I got a raise. It was like between 3 to 6 months. They gave me a raise. I think the first raise I got, what was it? It might have been like $6.10, $6.15 when I got my first raise. I wish I kept those paychecks, those early paychecks. I used to have like a lot of paychecks from when I worked at Albertson, but eventually I threw them away. I had like tons of paychecks from Albertson. I think my mom told me to keep the pay stubs. So that's why I kept them, the pay stubs. Not the actual paycheck, but the pay stubs. And it was nice to finally get paid consistently. Because when I was getting paid from allowance, it wasn't really consistent. Because, like I said, my parents paid me whenever they felt like it. So I never knew when I was going to get paid. It could be months before they decided to pay me for allowance. That's the way it was. I mean, if you have parents that actually do pay consistently with allowance, I mean, you are blessed. But that wasn't me. I'm going to be straight, y'all guys. I was not paid consistently with allowance. But when I was getting these paychecks, they were consistent, and that's what I liked. I had money come in every single week. Another thing I like, I could actually start saving. It was nice to start saving that money. And you gotta remember, I had no bills back then. So I was not paying rent. I had no phone bill. Yeah, when I was 16, I had absolutely no phone bill. You know why? Because I had no cell phone. And I didn't really care. I didn't really care if I had one or not back then. I was not in a hurry to get one, I'll be honest with y'all. I paid no car insurance. I didn't even have a license back then. I just had a bike. I think I went to Walmart. I bought a bike for around $80. And that was my vehicle. Going to school, going to work. I was riding that bike. So it was actually easy for me to save money back then. I was saving money like crazy. In less than a year, I was like 17 during the junior year. I had like $1,000. I remember when I saved up to like $1,000, I was so happy. I felt like I was rich. But the first expensive thing I bought was a PS2. Fun times. PS2 lasts a while, by the way. I had that PS2 for years. It outlasts my Nintendo. I'll tell you that. But that feeling of getting that first paycheck, I mean, it was nice. To get that consistent pay. Because I could finally make plans with my money. Like what I'm going to do with my money. How much I'm going to put in the bank. When I'm going to buy this. So I could finally start making plans. But it was hard to do that whenever I was working for allowance. When I was working with my dad for the carpet cleaner, I mean, it was sort of consistent. Sometimes I had to wait a while to get paid because my dad paid me how much he wanted to pay me. It was $3 an hour. Obviously, that's not a lot of money, but you gotta remember I was between 12 and 14 when I was getting paid this much, $3 an hour. So I guess that's not too bad when you're that young. I mean, I actually did save up to $100 at one point when I was getting paid $3 an hour. Getting paid $5 an hour, yeah, I mean, it's better than getting paid $3 an hour. Plus, I got raises after a while. At that job, I think the most they paid me when I was working at that job was like $7.45. So I went from like $5.9 to $7.45 with the same work. Plus, when my dad was plus getting paid for the carpet cleaning job, that did rely on my dad taking the jobs. Plus, he started doing it whenever we moved here. I mean, he did do some cleaning stuff, but I wasn't really into that. So, but getting paid consistently, I mean, it was nice. Not have to worry when your parents are going to pay you. Because, yeah, sometimes my parents will take forever to pay me, especially with the allowance. It's like they pay you when they feel like it. So when I was like around 15 or 16, I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to get a job. My parents just don't pay me like they're supposed to. Also, they're not obligated to pay. They're not obligated to pay you when I'm for allowance. Because I made another video saying your parents really aren't obligated to pay you for doing your chores. They're not obligated to pay your allowance. But when my dad had me doing the carpet clean, I mean, yeah, I mean, it'll be wrong if he had me do that and didn't pay me. I mean, wouldn't that be like illegal, like child labor? If my dad had me doing that carpet clean and didn't pay me, I guess that would have been child labor. I guess that would have been illegal, wouldn't it? But also, if it's at home doing chores, I mean, yeah, it's not really child labor. It's teaching your kid responsibility. But getting paid my own money, I mean, it felt good. And when the checks were bigger, I mean, I enjoyed it. So when I was 16, 17, 8, and we'll put 18 in it, I basically had like no bills. It was easy for me to save when I was working at Albertson. But around 18 and 19, I finally started to pay I got my license when I was 18. Yeah, I got my license late, so I did pay insurance. It was supposed to be like once every 3 months. But I'm 100% sure I was paying more often than that. Then I got my first cell phone when I was like 19. So yeah, I got my cell phone late when I was like 19. It was a Nokia. It was this phone right here I got when I was 19. I mean, I still kept it. I was using it for like an alarm. But eventually, the cord I was using to charge it, it stopped working. It got it tore apart. So I can't even charge this phone anymore. And my cordless charger doesn't work for these kind of phones. So I just keep it as collection. But nothing's gonna beat getting that first paycheck I ever had. I don't know, there is something about getting that first paycheck that just feel good. I mean, it's kind of hard to describe getting that first paycheck. I did feel like I was moving forward though. When I got that paycheck, I felt like I was moving forward. Didn't realize I was going to get this every week. I mean, it felt nice. And that's where I want to end the video. I mean, when you got your first paycheck, I mean, how did you feel? Did it feel cool to finally get that first paycheck? Were you disappointed to realize that you weren't really going to get the full payment, that there's going to be tax coming out? I mean, I was. 16-year-old me was mad when I realized I wasn't going to get that full paycheck. Because they took the federal tax and the Social Securities and, of course, the Medicaid. They took all that out. Then the next year, it wasn't really a full year, but around January or February, I got my first tax form. I'm like, what is this? I had no idea what it was. Because I was only like 17 at that point. So I like, what I'm going to do with this. And that's where I learned that you had to file tax every year. Fortunately, I got money back instead of having to pay money, which was good. So I learned a lot of things getting that first paycheck, getting that first job. I learned things. But anyway, like this video, give me a thumb up, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos, more of my videos. But if this is the first time you're ever on my channel, feel free to check out my other videos. Check them out and share my videos. But that being said, have a good weekend. Bye for now.